Hi guys.
Hello guys, we are. Guess who's back? Back again. We're back again. Back again.
Oh,
back
we're
for
back.
good.
Back for good.
Back for good. Have you been listening to any music in lockdown, Barry? I know you like a bit of Frank Sinatra.
I love Sinatra, the old swinger himself.
Oh, I'm a love singer.
You're riding high in April, shot down in May.
Yeah,
we're
it,
permanently.
One day you're a feather
there.
duster, the next day you're cock of the walk. You know,
well,
it's the same sentiment. It's not that song.
That's right. But he's wonderful, Frank Sinatra. He was very much involved with the mob, wasn't he? Frank
Yes, he
Sinatra?
was part of the mob. That's right. Yes, he was a gangster.
Really, but
you were in the mob for a while.
Yes, of course I was. I was in with the Cray twins and all, the British mob.
Right.
My mob really was more Watford, Hertfordshire, and it didn't have all the accoutrements of the mafia, the mafiosi.
No, but you were very much running the protection rackets and all that stuff, weren't you?
Very much so, and I modelled myself on Sinatra. Of course, if you say you're into swing in Watford, it's a slightly different thing.
That's it.
I'll be saying, releasing album songs for swinging lovers, mostly involved Brian and Shirley round the corner with their pamplemousse out in the car park,
with all the steamed up windows.
The steamed up windows. So, and I'd be going around going, singing my swinging songs, Could be misconstrued. I'd say, hey guys, come out, come and see one of my gigs. It's for swingers.
Ooh,
the perverts. People in little maxis with their trousers round their their ankles in the car.
All their knobs hanging out.
All their knobs. I said, what's going on? I'm supposed to be stylish. I was going to be, Frank Sinatra.
No,
and it's one thing being a proper swinger in the 50s with the mafiosi. It's another thing squashing your ball bag against the wing mirror of a Vauxhall Astra, isn't it?
Whilst watching a pair of 50-year-olds have it off on the back seat.
It's taken the word swinging and it's debased it.
No, exactly. It's hijacked. They've hijacked that word, I think.
Exactly. It's like, do you remember when you went into B&Q and you wanted to buy
that is dogging.
swing?
I think that's yes,
that is dogging. But the swing.
Although Sinatra wrote a great song about dogging.
Oh my God.
It was unreleased, as I recall.
Well,
I was in the car park in Berkshire.
That's it, go on.
When I saw this little arsehole
I've got a Vauxhall Astra. I've got it here. It was a lovely old. I went to the swinging party. Everyone there was arty-farty. I threw my car keys into a little bowl. Everywhere I looked, there was folks stuffing the odd hole. I got into the car. I whipped off a bra. Went to the church car park. Oh Jesus! What an awful lark!
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Although I will just reiterate that was a song about dogging, not swinging, which is a different business.
Yeah, it's a different business.
Although actually, I think you may have combined dogging and swinging together there, which is
that's what
which is great. That's what they do, isn't it?
That's what. But you had a similar problem when you went to B&Q. You tried to buy a swing hammock.
Oh,
do you remember?
Yeah, I tried to buy a swing. I think I tried to buy a swing hammock, and they said, "No, you don't want to get that from here. You want to get that. You want to get that online."
Yes,
and they gave me an address, and I typed it into the Googles,
Yes,
swing hammock. And it wasn't an outdoor swing hammock; it was an indoor thing, and it was it was all leather. I bought it in
beautiful,
all leather. Yeah. Put it up in the office, in the office, I say the office, it was the bog, right? And it's a leather swing, and then in the base of the swing, there's a hole cut out in the middle of it.
Beautiful.
So that when you sit on that, something can go up your bum. And apparently, that's what people like. I I just wanted to have a little swing in the sun, but people like swinging with things stuck up them, you know.
I had a terrible problem. Remember when I joined Northwood Golf Club and I went to lessons and we've got to practice your swinging technique.
Oh,
do you remember?
Yeah, I remember
They gave me
that.
a 9-iron and all that, and they said, and I said, oh, okay, I was very keen. I got the right distance, so I got there one evening. And I had all my clubs with me and all that. And it wasn't that at all. There was a load of naked 50-year-old women and their husbands who enjoyed watching me having sex with them on the green, I got a hole in one.
Hole in one, I bet you did. And a hole in another. No, lovely.
That's swinging. Bunker. Well, all right. If she'll let me.
No, but I was in the mob from about 1973 to 1977.
Right.
I think there was me and Giancarlo. And, you remember? And I was the money. I used to be the money runner.
Oh, that's right.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember. God, blimey. You sorted people out, didn't you?
I sorted people out, and I broke thumbs, and I got kicked out in the end because I stank. But that's it was a shame. It was a shame because it was a good little money earner. That. Yeah. But I turned up one day, and you know what they're like, the Italians. They're all turned out all nice and all that stuff. In all their smart suits, and I says. And I said, where you get them suits from? And they said, my tailor knocked them up, you know. Yeah, and they said to me, where'd you get that coat? And I said, M&S originally, but I bought it at the Carla Lane dog charity shop. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they kept going on about my coat. Every time I turned up, they're banging on about my bloody coat, right? And then they start like going like that, and they go, hey, you know that coat stinks. Yeah. And I go, well, you stink actually, right? And then I turned up the next day, and I was standing there, and I had a load of money like that, and I just, unfortunately, I went like that, did a big guff, you know.
Yes.
And he said to me, well, what have you been eating, you know? And I says, well, last night I had a tin of beans with them sausages in, you know. Right. And they said, well, you stink. I says, well, you stink, actually. You stink, you know. And they get their guns out and they start saying, you don't tell me I stink. I wear cologne. I says, yeah, well, I wear that as well. And then the next day I turned out, I farted again. I shat myself and they said, you stink and you're fired. And then that was the end of my mob days.
They say you dishonoured our family by blowing off.
Well, blowing off was okay, they says, but once it went to one more than that,
very strict.
They said you have to leave the family.
Leave the family, Cosa Nostra. Now, you would like to know, ladies and gentlemen, we are conducting this over Zoom video conferences.
Can we just, before we go any further, can we just ask people to come to see our weekly briefing, please?
Yes,
on
please.
8:30. Where is it? 8:30. On Zoom on Wednesday night. You can buy tickets on the Twitters at Epithemia, at Barry from Watford, and we will answer your questions. Questions you may have.
It's a weekly briefing, and you just click on the link. It's dirt cheap and it's great fun. We had a lovely time.
Fun.
We're backed by public demand.
They've made us come back and do it. It flies by as well, it flies by.
And this Zoom business is all very well, but it's fun. We've had various meetings, and I know you had one with
lots of meetings,
the mafia and all sorts.
A meeting with the mafia, trying to get back in, I am.
Trying to get back in. I mean, everyone is using Zoom, you know. They obviously have to decorate the back of their room, you know, behind them, so they look intellectual. I mean,
I know they do have to do that.
You've removed your posters from the wall, haven't you? Maria Whittaker, Lindsay Dawn Mackenzie.
I mean, we're not videoing this bit, but when we're videoing our podcasts, you know, I have to remove it for decency because we have a lot of women watching this show.
They're big fans.
Quite rightly, they're big fans of ours. And they don't want to see, Gloria Honeyford on the wall and, a naked Linda Lusardi on which is not a poster, that is a personal signed picture of her that she sent to me because I asked her to.
Yeah. And they don't...
In fact, Yes.
They don't want to see that picture.
They don't want to see that. No.
Kim Jong.
They want to see. They want to see my books.
Kim Jong Bum.
Well, I had to paint over that because I'd written on the wall Kim Jong Bum.
Yeah.
In felt tip pen. I don't know why I did that.
No.
It's just. I was having a moment of inspiration, and I thought, I'll just write that on the wall.
Yeah.
But of course, when I come to conduct my business and they see Kim Jong Bum written on the wall, it undermines my credibility.
No, absolutely. I mean, when I'm speaking to some of my top people in business,
top people,
all the top people, and I've got my Zoom running, the last thing they want to see is that signed photo I've had blown up. I had it blown up.
Why not? You're proud of it.
You're proud of Kim Woodburn blowing off on a match and lighting a fire. They don't want to see that.
Not everybody wants to see that.
Not everyone wants to see that.
And I understand that they don't want to see that.
And you removed that one you had framed, didn't you?
Well, I had a signed picture of Elton John.
Yes, that's it.
In that photograph, which I had said I commissioned it off him. I said, "Would you mind taking a photograph of yourself?" Right? I wrote to him in the 80s and asked him to do this.
Yeah.
And I said, them velour tracksuits you wear? And he wrote back and go, "Yeah, I do. Yeah." I said, "Will you mind just sending me a photo of that with that pulled down around your ankles?" And your little pants pulled down as well, please. And your gooch box just hanging between your legs, with your legs slightly open, and it's swinging forwards and back. And just get the photograph when it's swinging forwards, so everyone can actually see what it is. And all right. And it was very good of him to go out and actually take that photograph for me because you didn't have to because his cock and balls is all visible in it, right?
Right.
And I didn't even ask for that, but that came free, right? Yeah. And I had it blown up at the garage.
Yeah, sure.
Why not? I had it blown up. Very proud of it.
And you put it behind you on that wall. However, there's nothing lewd about it. There's nothing sexual about it.
No,
it's a demonstration
it's
of the gooch box.
That's right, exactly.
And that's why you drew that picture of Robert Winston next to it, pointing with his moustache, going,
that's right,
Gucci gander in a speech bubble.
Goo, it says.
Gucci goo.
Right, and then Robert Winston had drawn all stuff coming out of Elton's knob, right?
Well, that was unnecessary.
No, he didn't have to do that. But anyway, I actually take the whole thing off the wall because I don't want to offend people that don't necessarily understand what's going on in the picture.
Well, no, exactly. And look, if you look behind me here, because we're conducting this on Zoom now, you see that patch there where there was something hanging.
Yes, it's a white sort of patch there,
yeah,
quite big. Obviously, quite a large photograph.
That is because I do think, for the sake of decency, of modesty, nobody wants, while I'm conducting a proper business negotiation with my people in Wall Street, they don't want to look behind me and see Anne Widdicombe, doing that topless tennis.
No, it's only a couple of years ago as well, wasn't it?
Exactly, I mean, do they really want to look past me and see David Van Day, with that hot dog coming out of his bum, that spatula up his bum? No, they do not.
It's a lovely photograph for you. It's a personal thing. It's a personal artefact, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
But nobody wants to see the picture I've got on the back of my wall of Kim Jong-un, bending over with the nuclear bomb coming out of his arse. Not everybody wants to see that.
Not exactly.
And then there's a speech bubble coming out from his mouth saying, "God, this thing stinks."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No one would understand it. No one would understand it.
No one wants to see Kim Jong Un's sister, Queen Jong Un, in that picture of that I've got with her and Nick Knowles Knob, and she's saying speech bubble. God, how about that for a mushroom? No one wants to see that.
I would like to see that.
Oh, it's making a political point.
It's a political point. It's a piece of political art. It's a piece of agitprop.
So for the time being, okay, that's in my bedroom, but I will take it out and put it behind me in my study when I've stopped doing my negotiations
with Wall Street. And nobody wants to see when I'm doing my negotiations on Zoom, right, with Alan Sugar. And, about my piece of plastic tap that I'm going to sell to pensioners. Yes. Nobody wants to see the picture I've got on the back of the wall there of Noel Edmonds. With his knob hanging out of his trousers, right? And him trying to bend over to get it up his nose. Nobody wants to see that. Not when I'm doing business with Alan Sugar.
That's right.
The first thing he'd say to me is, "You're fired."
He would say that. But the other thing, that, of course, what happens all the time with this Zoom business is people forget they're on Zoom. They're relaxing in their house.
Because you're at home, you think this is the natural environment, and it's not something I've ever had to really address,
Exactly. What's the name of the Chancellor at the moment?
Richie
Sajic.
I don't know. I don't know his name.
I was speaking to him about the state of play with people being furloughed, all right? I've got through
presumably he called you up for
He's called me up because I'm very much self-isolating. I'm part of a very vulnerable group of people. And he gave me a courtesy call.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Anyway, and for all intents and purposes, he's in his office now, I suspect.
Is he at home or is he in Downing Street?
It looks very much at home to me, and it was had a slight echo.
What's your giveaway?
The bog roll next to him. The bog roll next to him was the giveaway. So and also the giveaways when he went, "Hello, is that Barry?" when I come through, it's like.
Oh, I see.
So anyway,
go on. Yeah, go on.
No, anyway, we had a long discussion about fiscal policy, about monetarism, and the state of play, and how to bail out people in the current crisis. I said, "Well, it's lovely speaking to you." And just up at the phone, I heard the bog go. He stood up, and there he is, all knob and everything, as he wiped his
all hanging out. All
hanging out. Disgusting.
Well, it's very interesting you should say that, because I had a very similar thing happen to me the other day when I was on the phone to Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, right?
Yeah.
He's called me up because he says, "Look, Angelos, I need to speak to you about hygiene, and I want to get all your take on all that hygiene and stuff." Yeah. I says, "Matt, you come to the right place, because I know all about that, all about washing hands and social distancing. I am hot on it, and I always have been. Right?
Yeah.
I always have been. Anyway, we had this very long chat, about all this, and I took him through it very detailed, exactly how this should be done. Wash your hands for 2 minutes to a song and all this stuff.
That's it.
And I saw him taking notes in his book, right? Taking it all down in his book, right? And then writing it on his computer.
Sure. Yeah,
good. The guy's got good detail, right?
the guy knows what he's doing.
The guy knows what he's doing. That's good. And presumably he sent that on to his secretary, and the message gets passed. Yeah. So anyway, right at the end of the call, and I've got the wall and the mantelpiece in the background, and I'm being very, very detailed about all my hygiene stuff.
Yeah.
And I turn the computer off. I look round behind me, and there's on the mantelpiece there's a little shit on there, right? Just on some bog roll.
But you'd left there.
I had left it there.
Oh, how embarrassing!
I know. Well, this is the thing.
Oh, God.
I was going to go to the doctor's and take a sample, but I forgot to put it in my bag, and I'd left it on the mantelpiece, and it was in full view behind me. He must have seen it. He must have seen it sitting there.
Oh,
anyway, I hope it didn't undermine my credibility. You know,
I had
the dangers of being at home.
I had a very similar thing. You know, Riley, our Cocker Spaniel.
Yes.
He's wandered in, and as I'm having a top-level discussion with all the big guns in Wall Street, you know, I'm talking
about your furloughs.
About my furloughs, about my hedge fund, you know, we're talking very highfalutin. I'm trying to impress these people. Yeah. The fact was, I didn't have no trousers and pants on, all right? I didn't have the top off, I had a shirt and tie.
Why not? You're at home.
I'm at home, I had a shirt and tie on, you know, I was respectable. I treated them with respect. I had my nice glasses on, I'd combed my hair, I'd removed any trace of Anne Widdecombe's tits off my back wall in my study.
All gone. That's all
and
gone.
That's all gone. It's all there. I'd even put up all my Royal Tournament brochures, programs,
nice.
all in souvenir, you know, plastic sheet. It's all there. Just reaching the end of this high-level discussion, I didn't notice that Riley was just sniffing around my anus, right? So, of course.
Well, you wouldn't notice, because you're deeply concentrated on the coal.
Exactly, and also I sat there for a while, and I just stood up and I lifted it all up with me, but my bare bottom was showing in the mirror. And Riley's there lapping away at my undercarriage as I'm, you know, saying goodbye to the CEO of Zurich.
Of Wall Street.
Of Wall Street, Zurich Investments. Anyway, basically, all their employees and everyone could see my bottom and see out my dog licking what was one of my balls that had come between me legs, you know. And even the dog was disgusted. It was horrible, and I was embarrassed.
But I hope it didn't lose you any business, did it?
Well, my portfolio is worth nothing now. It was embarrassing. In the end, hold on. Where did I wrote them a little letter here? There you are. Dear Sir Charles.
Oh, good. You top brass.
Straight to the top. Yeah. Many thanks for the Zoom meeting the other day. You're quite right. Some of my investments will be going up by 0.2. I've checked. Yes. And precautionary measures during the current crisis are appreciated. However, there was a moment towards the end of the call.
You may recall.
Where my dog, Riley, a beautiful Cocker Spaniel that we recently got from the Dog Trust, sniffed what could have been some dried faeces on one of my nuts. I can only apologise for any distress that this caused to your organisation and out of embarrassment I would like to withdraw all funds and hope we can draw a line under this unfortunate Please apologise to your staff, Mr. B. St. Michael. You know.
What a shame that you had to put out all your investments because of that. Simply to save face. Well,
yeah.
You know, that's the business world. You get ripped apart if you hadn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You had no choice. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I got this letter from Matt Hancock this morning.
Yes, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, I know. And this is the letter I was worried about getting. If I've been honest with you.
Yeah.
This is, dear Angelos, thank you so much for your Zoom meeting, re-hygiene and the surrounding areas the other day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was very instructive, and I made lots of notes in my pad, which I then stuck on my computer, passed to my secretary, which I saw that.
For his underlings.
Right. Yeah. Which I then sent to my underling, who then passed the message on to the nation, right?
Very good.
So he says, so far so good.
So good.
He says, right? He says, however, towards the end of the phone call, something else caught my eye, which had previously escaped my vision.
Oh,
it was only when
me.
you moved your head slightly to your left that I noticed what looked like a lump of shit on your mantel.
Oh, yeah. That was unfortunate, given that it was about hygiene.
Hygiene as well,
Oh,
exactly.
Christ.
It's just, obviously, I'm prepared to overlook this.
Oh, that's very decent of you.
if you can give me a valid explanation of what it was doing there. Please respond forthwith. Yours, Matthew Hancock. Ooh.
Oh, Christ. Well, what are you going to say? You're going to have to
Well, I've
tell
already
him
written
something.
to him, haven't I?
Oh, right. What did you say?
I've written back. Dear Mr. Hancock, thank you for your letter, which I received very safely this morning. I'm very glad you took all the notes that I gave you re-hygiene. I saw you doing that actually at the time.
Well,
and
you
saw
did,
you
yeah.
putting it onto your underlings, right, and passing it on to the nation.
Yeah.
Read a lump of shit on my mantle.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about this. The trouble is, we've just got this new dog from the rescue centre in Battersea Park, right? And it's one of them dogs from China that can jump about 6 feet, right? And this one has obviously jumped really high, sat itself on the mantelpiece and done a shit there. And that's what that was. I'm sorry I hadn't cleaned it up, but it was a very busy day.
Yes.
I hope that answers all your questions, Epithemia. So, I mean, I don't know whether I got away with it or not. But hopefully that'll do the trick.
Well, I really do
Time
hope
will
so.
tell.
Yeah. Well, so let that be a lesson to you. You know, them government committees, they're relying on people. Like, it's very unfortunate.
I know. It is a simple mistake anyone could make, though. You know,
that's it. Yeah.
Anyone could make these mistakes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Christ.
I mean, and if it's difficult to remember, try and remember our simple rhyme. It's just a handy way of remembering things. And what do it get? Hold on, I've got it written it down.
God, you've written it down.
Yeah.
If you're on the Zoom,
you're on the Zoom and you're in your room and you're speaking to some highfalutin folk.
It's a real boon if you get your broom and sweep all the muck away.
So that's it. We haven't quite worked that one out yet.
But you get the idea.
You get the idea. If you've been asked to provide a sample, you know, don't waste time. Don't leave it in the room. I'd get it to the doctors.
No, get it to the doctors. Because apart from anything, it just goes hard after a while.
Does,
and it's no long. You can't get all the details out of it. What you need.
No.
So
exactly.
They want something fresh.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I hope that helps you.
I hope that helps.
It should have helped.
Well, it should have helped. And hopefully you'll be joining us on Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Where we will be on the Zoom.
That's right, and we will be answering your questions.
Yeah.
So this might sound a bit funny, this podcast, because we had a few technical issues.
Oh, we really
Barroy?
did. We had a lot of trouble. Yeah. But there's a flipping virus on. What do you expect?
Yeah, we're doing it in amongst viruses. So
we found it hard enough technically to do when it wasn't, and now we've got to do this. So,
exactly.
But anyway,
just count yourself lucky.
Count yourself lucky. Now look. The real money is going to come and join us on Patreon now.
Oh yeah, the real money. That's where the gold is.
Don't forget 8:30 Wednesday night. Please join us for our weekly briefing. We're going to put some effort in.
Oh yeah.
And for Christ's sake,
I'm going to put some effort in.
Keep safe. Keep safe. All
Take
right.
care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.